3. Okay, Group B, I'm going to go Switzerland 1, Canada 2, because I think Canada will have like a bit of a good tournament because they're at home. And Bosnia and Herzegovina 3. Group C, so I want to talk about this for a second because personally I'm a Scotland hater. I want Scotland to get absolutely grouped. But I feel like they'll beat Haiti. But Haiti just beat New Zealand 4-0, so they've got some momentum coming into the World Cup. Whereas Scotland lost their game. I know they won, but they did win. But it was like against a smaller team, and I think Morocco will top the group. To be honest, I don't think Brazil. I think Brazil will take a while to get into the tournament. I think Brazil's some of the favourites. I think Endrick personally will be the breakout player for me. Do you think the German Schnitz will win? I do think the German Schnitz will win Timpson Cookie. I think Brazil were one of my favourites, but I feel like they'll take a few games to get into it. So I'm going to say Morocco top the group. Brazil comes second, and I think Scotland just take the edge over Haiti. Group D, we are going to... This is the group for crappers. I'm going to say Turkey goes first, and then I'm going to say US goes through, and then Paraguay goes through. Group E. Okay, this is where I think it all goes to crap. Because I think Ivory Coast or Ecuador will be towards the top, because Ivory Coast won AFCON 2 years ago, as we all know, and Ecuador came second in the qualifying Ecuador in 18 games. The last 18 games, Ecuador have conceded 5 goals. So yeah, I think Ecuador will top the group. I think Ivory Coast will come second, and I think Germany will come third. Because without Leonard Cowell, Germany will be absolutely useless. Okay, going into the next group, I think Japan absolutely going to dominate this group. I think they're going to be the dark horse top. Well, not even dark horse anymore, but just good. They just work well together. They've probably got like people beating them with whips every time they fail. And I feel like Sweden will beat Netherlands 3-2, just hear me out. And I think they'll take the cake over Netherlands and make Netherlands come third. I did this before, predicted before I knew a bit more about the teams and injuries and that sort of thing. So, and then I feel like Egypt have got to do something. Belgium will come second, and Tim Payne will carry New Zealand to the third. Group H. Because basically, so Spain, they don't have Lamine Yamal for the first 2 games. And then say he takes 2 the next game to get into form, I don't think they'll top the group. I think Uruguay will top the group, then Spain will come second, and Saudi Arabia will come third. Okay, now this is Group I. Oh, hello. Timpson Cookie. So Group I, France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway. This is the group of death. You've got the African champions. You've got taken away from them. They are the African champions. You've got Norway, who are the absolute underdogs with Erling Haaland. And obviously you've got France, who are the favourites going into the tournament, but I think they'll have an underwhelming performance. Anything apart from winning is kind of underwhelming for their team. So I'm going to say that... I think France will end up topping the group. I think Norway will come second. I think Senegal will come third. I think it'll be a very close group, and that'll be the best group of the tournament. Moving on, we have this group here. I don't think Argentina will win their opening game, so I think Austria will top the group. Then Argentina will come second, and Algeria will come third. Moving on to Group K, we've got Portugal, who I think are the strongest team of the tournament. I think are my favourites going into a tournament. Colombia will come second because Luis Diaz will carry, and I think Uzbekistan will come third. And Group L, this is what we've all been talking about. England. Let's talk about England for a few minutes. Let's just spend some time to talk about England, because I think England, this could go one of 2 ways: terrible or amazing. So, I think England will top the group. I do have confidence there. And I think... Croatia, Ghana. Okay. Panama did do 6-2 to Brazil, so it's kind of like... I don't think I'll do much. Ghana, strong team, but I think England will top it, just based off of pure quality of the players. Okay, now I'm going to choose the best third place teams. So we need to select 8 of the 12 third best teams in order from best to worst. So we're going to go, I think Germany will go through, but barely without Leonard Carl. And then we move on, I think Netherlands will do it. Because who have they got in their group? They had Sweden and they had someone else, I can't remember. And I think Senegal will do it. She's 8 out of the 12, so I feel like Tim Payne has to take New Zealand through. I think Ghana will do it. I think Scotland will do it, unfortunately. I think Czech will do it. And I think Saudi Arabia will do it. Now, moving on to the round of 32. What we all are here to see. This is where it starts to move into, like, who will win the tournament. I think Ecuador versus Scotland. Ecuador will win. They've conceded 5 goals in their last 18 games. There's absolutely no chance Scotland win this game. People overrate Scotland so much. Ecuador will be going through here. Next game, we have Colombia versus Croatia. I think Colombia has a lot of strengths, all coming from Luis Diaz, and that's about it. Whereas Croatia is a more balanced team, with players like Stanisic, obviously Luka Modric, even though he's a bit older. So I think Croatia will slightly take the cake, unless it's an absolute Luis Diaz masterclass. Quite possible. France versus Netherlands. Ultimate attacking versus ultimate defence. France will absolutely batter them, because I don't see the Netherlands can't stop crap teams from scoring, so I think France will go through here. Argentina versus Uruguay. Uruguay are quite strong. But I think Argentina is stronger, and Messi's aura just brings it through. Moving on, we have Canada versus Mexico. Mexico and Canada, both hosting countries of the World Cup. And I think Mexico should be taking the cake here, and that's another Alphonso Davies masterclass. Turkey versus Germany. I do not rate Germany whatsoever. I do not think Germany will have a good World Cup. However, I think they will progress past around the 32. I think they will beat Turkey, unless Arda, has a masterclass. I think without Leonard Carl, Germany, it's over for Germany. Then, moving on to Japan versus Brazil. Massive team Brazil, footballing nation. I think this is where they have a letdown, and their freestyle flowing football play style was be absolutely rattled by Japan's full structure and everything. So I think Japan will win this 1-0 or 2-0 and will be knocking out Brazil, who are one of my favourites to be honest, but I think the pressure on them will be a massive issue going into this fixture. Next we've got a bit of a smaller one, Egypt versus Czechia. And I think even though Mo Salah is one of the best players in the last 10 years, I think he's a bit old now, and Patrick Schick and with Czech Republic, we're knocking Egypt out. Next game, we have Morocco versus Sweden. I feel like Sweden will be underdogs in this going into it, but I feel like this is where their World Cup comes to an end, and I do believe Morocco will be knocking them out. Continuing, we've got Ivory Coast and Cape Verde, or someone versus Norway. Anyway, Norway wins, Erling Haaland scores 2. Okay, Norway go through here. Next, we have South Korea versus Saudi Arabia. And I do think South Korea will be quite strong going into this, so I believe South Korea will win this 1 or 2-0. England versus Senegal here. Thomas Tuchel's first game of manager. England lost 3-1 to Senegal, and I do believe we will be getting our revenge on the African champions and progressing to the round of 16 of the World Cup. Next up, we've got Austria versus Spain, and I think by now Lamine Yamal will be back in form. He will be good, and I think Spain will breeze through Austria, even though Austria could put up a fight, but I don't see them going through. Now I've got an interesting game here. USA versus Belgium. It's a tough one here because USA are home soil. Belgium have kind of fallen off. I feel like USA will be a bit surprising here and will progress to the round of 16 past Belgium. Next game, we've got Tim Payne's New Zealand versus Switzerland. I do believe Tim Payne's World Cup campaign run will come to an end here. Switzerland will be progressing to the round of 16. And the last game from the round of 32, we have Portugal versus Ghana. Ghana are quite a strong team. I think quite an underdog going into this game. But I think they'll put up a good fight. But I do believe Portugal, for me, are my favourites going into World Cup. And I believe they will dominate the midfield of this game, create more opportunities, and score more goals. Now, we move on to the round of 16. Our first game with Ecuador versus France. Even though Ecuador have conceded 5 goals in the last 18 games, I think France will put another 5 past them in one. I think this is where France start playing as a team. This is where they start to gel in this stage of the tournament, round of 16. And I believe this will be some of the best football we've seen from the country. For the likes of Elise, Mbappe, Cherki, Dembele, Doué, all in one team, and France will be going past Ecuador. Next, we've got Mexico versus Japan. I do believe the hosts will be knocked out here, as the pure play style of Japanese football will beat them with pure structure. Next, we have Croatia versus Argentina. I feel like Croatia will be big underdogs going into this tournament. I feel like they could have the opportunity to knock out some big nations, and they could knock out Argentina. But at the end of the day, it's Messi. Messi can do anything if he puts his mind to it. I don't care if he's 38, I don't care if he's 39, I don't care if he's 40 or 50. I feel like Messi will have a moment of magic here and bring Argentina through. Next, Germany versus Czechia. Even though I think Germany will have an awful tournament without Lennart Kjell. Germany will have a horrific tournament. I do believe they will get past Czechia. And Patrick Schick's aura will not be able to stop them. Moving on to the other side of the bracket, we have Morocco, the unrightful African champions, versus Norway. And I believe this will be one of the best round of 16 game to watch, as Norway playing very good football, Morocco play very good football, and it's hard to decide who goes through here. But I feel like Norway will be the surprise team of the tournament and will break past Morocco and defeat the African champions. Next, we have South Korea versus England. And as an England fan, this does not look good. I think South Korea are very strong. But we have to have hope. We have to have hope and bring out the England flag. I do believe England will progress past South Korea from rather the individual moments. Hopefully will beat their structure and advances to the quarterfinals. Next, we've got Spain versus USA. And although the USA have had a good run, I do believe Spain will knock them out here, as Lamine Yamal will probably be back in form by then. And Spain just have too much individual quality, especially in the midfield. Spain are very overrated, I think. Probably one of the most overrated teams going into the tournament, but I do believe they will knock out the USA and progress to the quarterfinals. Next is Switzerland versus Portugal. As much as I enjoy watching Switzerland and think they're a good team, Portugal, as I said before, are my favourites going into it. And I believe they will absolutely knock out Switzerland. Okay. Now, continuing to the quarterfinals, we'll start with Norway versus England. I believe that Norway's World Cup their special run will end here, and England just have an overall more balanced, strong team. And if England play well, this all depends if England play well. England could get out earlier than this, could have some major upsets, but I do believe England will be stronger and they will make it to the semi-final at least. Next, we'll do Argentina versus Germany. Without Lennart Kjell, I just don't see Germany progressing past Argentina. They just don't have that creativity anymore. We do, but I don't think Argentina will be that strong going into the tournament. But I feel like with the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Messi, Nico Paz, Julian Alvarez, they'll just take the cake without Lennart Kjell. I think with Lennart Kjell, it would have been a completely different story. But I do think Argentina will progress. Now we'll be going into France versus Japan. I believe it will be a very close game. I think a lot closer than people think. But I do believe France will go through and end Japan's run. Now, coming on to one of the best games of the tournament, Spain, or just Lamine Yamal, because the rest of the team is quite overrated, versus Portugal. and I do not believe Spain will be able to get Portugal for revenge on Portugal for Nations League, and I believe that Portugal will be knocking out Spain in the quarterfinals. So, 2022 World Cup final, Argentina versus France. I believe the Messi's quality won't be able to play against a team stacked to the brim. I believe that France will progress to the final. Now, on the other side of the bracket, we have England versus Portugal, and I believe that even though England have such good quality, I think they will need a lot of individual moments to win this game, and without that I think Portugal are the stronger side. So sadly, as an England fan, I believe Portugal will progress to the final, displaying a final of France versus Portugal. And this will be a tough game, very tough game. But I do believe Portugal just have a stronger midfield, and I believe they'll dominate the game, and they won't let France get into the attacking areas, and when they do, they'll be cut off too quickly for France to make a big impact on the game, and I believe Portugal will win the first World Cup in the history of their country. I'm not a Portugal fan, I'm not really a Ronaldo fan, but yeah, this is just what I believe. Let me know if you've got any questions, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Adios.